Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. Today, we're going to need a chair, a block or something that can function as a block, a strap, a thick pillow. To start, we're going to start on our backs in constructive rest pose. So you can put your chair off to the side. Do have your block within reach. And just coming down, knees bent, feet flat on the mat. So for today's class, we're going to be focusing on the neck and shoulders. And as we approach these poses, I encourage you to let everything be really easy. Make sure everything that you do is breathable. If something doesn't feel good, of course, always don't do it if it feels like it's going to hurt you. And it's very important in life to do things that we don't want to do. It's important sometimes to challenge ourselves, of course. But for this practice, I encourage you to follow what feels good and give yourself full of permission to enjoy what's pleasurable. So in this moment, just check in what aspect physically or emotionally is pleasurable in this moment. Could be your breath, could be the support of the floor under you. And just really breathe in that pleasure, steeping in what feels good. To mark the beginning of our practice, we're going to make the sound ah, and I want you to see if you can feel it in your throat. So if it feels okay for you, place your hand on your throat. Take a big breath in. Ah. Let's do that twice more. Ah. Last time, really drag it out. Ah. Good. And then release the arm back to the mat. Find your block. Place it between your thighs on its thinnest setting, or you can use a rolled up towel or something if you don't have a block. And we're going to move in and out of bridge pose. Start with the heels underneath the knees. We're gently holding the block just so that the knees don't swing out. Inhale, lifting hips, swing arms up and back. Hold the block. Exhale, rolling down. And your hips may not go that high because you have the block between your thighs. That's okay. I'm not so concerned about how high your hips go, but rather, are you breathing? How much full of ease can you make this with the arms and the breath? There's a good amount of work going on in your legs, of course. Keep moving with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling, coming down. And now see if you can slow your breath and the movements down. Then inhaling up, and as you come down, we're going to ah down. Ah, hips to the mat. Inhale, lifting hips, arms up and back. Keep your gaze to the ceiling. And then ah as you come down. Let's do that twice more. Ah. Ah. Good. Remove the block. Swing your arms out to a T. Walk your feet as wide as the mat. Let the knees fall in or thighs touch. Notice what's pleasurable. And now start to windshield wiper the knees side to side so your legs won't be touching as they go side to side. just like windshield wipers don't touch. The feet are wide enough so that the legs don't touch as they swing side to side. And the pelvis will rock side to side too as you do this. And then, if it feels okay for you, turn your head and look opposite direction as the knees swing. A little gentle twist in the spine, increasing hip mobility. Once more on either side. And then coming back through center, roll to one side, and come on up, preparing to find a chair and having a seat in your chair. We're going to sit on the edge of the chair. So take a moment to find a neutral pelvis. So that means that the bowl of your pelvis, your bowl is neither spilling forward or backwards. We've talked quite a bit about this in different classes, but finding what feels neutral for you. You're not rounding and tucking the butt, but you're not overextending. Draw your belly in and then knit your ribs together, pulling your front ribs in. And then from here, just soften the shoulders away from the ears. Drawing right ear to right shoulder, and then rolling your chin down to your chest, and then left ear to left shoulder. Do that one more time. Roll down and back to the right and down and to the left. Good. And then come back through center, sitting nice and tall, ribs in, away from the back of the chair. Extend your arms forward and bring your right arm over your left, bending your bottom arm. So right arm is straight. You may stay just like this. We're creating space between the right shoulder blade and the spine. Or if eagle arms is accessible, you can do that. So the backs of the hands could be together or the palms together. So find your pose. And for this eagle arm, squeeze the elbows together. And then arms go right, so the hands kind of swing to the right, and then left ear to left shoulder. Just letting it really sink it down. Soften your face, feel your breath, lifting your heart space away from your hips. Big breath in here. And then exhale, lift head back to neutral and start to round just your upper back. So part your shoulder blades, release your head forward, chin now towards your chest, and you're kind of hollowing out your heart, reaching your elbows and forearms directly forward. And maybe the elbows get in line with the shoulders. Maybe they have to be a little bit lower. That's okay. Release your head. Exhale completely. And then inhale, head back to neutral position. Go ahead and release. Inhaling, opening up. And pause here with goalpost arms. Elbows, see, maybe your elbows can get a little bit forward, fingertips back as you hug the shoulder blades to the back of your ribs. Lift your heart. And pull your head and throat back slightly. Chin slightly down. One more breath here. Right, and then now reaching arms forward. Left arm over right, bending bottom elbow. Maybe you stay here. Maybe eagle arms. Maybe this side needs something different. So first, nice and tall. Feel your breath. Notice what's pleasurable in this posture for you. And then arms go left, or hands rather, tilt to the left. Head tilts to the right. Keep your heart lifted, your face relaxed, and in fact, bring your mouth into a little bit of a smile as you soften your forehead. Elbows may be in line with shoulders, or they may need to be a little bit lower than that. And then come back through center. Now we're going to start to round the upper back. Part the shoulder blades. Drop the head towards the chest. Again, you can always keep the arms, top arms straight. Totally fine. You could still get all this goodness in that variation. Releasing any tension in the back of the neck as the chin comes to the chest. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. And then with an inhale, come on out of it, untangle the arms, open up into this goalpost or cactus shape, lifting your heart almost as if there was sun coming down and you want to kind of get the sun on all of your face. So you're kind of drawing your head back, maybe to get your head out of the way so the sun hits your heart. Big breath in. And then exhale, releasing the arms to your thighs. Notice what's pleasurable. And rolling the shoulders. Go very soft, very easy, both directions. And now just check in. Neutral pelvis, scoop belly in, and then knit ribs together, kind of drawing the ribs back. We want our head, heart, and pelvis in alignment. Chin slightly down as we draw our head, throat back. You're either going to interlace your fingers behind you to broaden your chest, or some of you might find a better fit just grabbing the back of your chair. You can use that as like a way to lengthen your arms, right? You just grab the back of your chair. And then roll your inner biceps, the inner upper arms, spiral them towards the front of your mat, right? And a few things can happen here. The head can shut forward. We can still be kind of slouching as we're doing this. If you feel like that's happening, come out of it. Realign yourself, belly in, ribs in. Roll biceps, scapula together behind you. Draw the head back. And then start to try to rip the chair apart behind you, or maybe ripping your fists apart or your hands away from each other. Soften your jaw, soften your face. One more breath. And then release. And rolling your wrists, fanning your fingers as you do that. Other direction. Good. Okay. So now you're going to interlace your fingers behind you and bring your fists to the left side of your waist. If this is inaccessible, you're just going to reach back with your right hand and grab a hold of your waistband. What we're doing this so we can draw the scapula down, the right scapula down away from the ear and then onto the back. Okay, so you could be doing this or maybe interlacing and then tilting head to the left ear towards left shoulder. Breathe into that right side of the neck. Turning up the corners of the mouth. Moving the back of the head back slightly as the chin comes towards the throat, just a little bit. And then come back through center. Let's do the other side. Having your position, draw the left shoulder away from the ear and onto the back, the left scapula onto the back of the ribs. Head tilts to the right. Warm smile towards your heart, towards your practice. Feel your breath. And keep lifting in your heart space. This posture will feel very different if you have a rounded back. So we want to keep the chest broad as we do this. Last breath. And coming on out of it. Release. Let both hands rest on your thighs and notice what's pleasurable. Giving yourself permission to take that in. Good. So now we're going to create more space between the shoulder blades. We brought them together. Now let's create space between them again. I'm going to show you my side view. That's how we're going to do it. Walk your feet forward until the heels are underneath the knees or maybe a little bit forward of the knees. And then walk your hands down the legs, parting the shoulder blades. Inhale to inflate your upper back, let your head drop. And then grab a hold of either your shins or your knees and try to pull yourself, your chest towards your knees while resisting it at the same time, if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, then just think of yourself as like you've got a good grasp on the legs and you're pulling the back of your heart away from the legs, causing this rounding in the upper back. Let the head go. Breathe into the space of the back of the heart. Good, and then come on up. Okay, so options. You're welcome to do a downward dog if you like downward dogs, or come along with me and we'll do a chair dog. Have the chair facing you at the front of your mat, and then you're going to come towards the back of your mat. Everyone's a little different, so feel into what is the distance that fits you. Hands to the back of the chair. And you'll know that you're the right distance away from the chair as you come to the hands to the back of the chair and you're feeling a good stretch in the backs of the legs. And the hips are over the heels. The knees can be bent. Press down through the palms. Keep your head lifted for this one so that the ears are in line with the shoulders and the chin is towards the throat. Keep the back of the neck long. Few breaths. Elbows are straight, arms are long, fingers spread. Press, press, press down into the chair as the hips move away. Last breath. And then walking forward, come on up to stand. Taking a moment in the standing position. Once again, check in what feels good right now. Rejoice. Good. Okay, so mountain pose. Standing with your feet parallel. And let's just explore something with our mountain pose. What would it be like if you had the outer edges of your feet parallel to the long edges of your mat? So um, often it'll feel like you're kind of pigeon-toed, and that's okay. Just stay with me for a moment and explore how this feels. Make sure your heels are about hip socket distance apart, right under the hip socket. Soften the knees, and then neutral pelvis, neither rounded in the back or butt sticking out. Find that for yourself. And then hands to the tops of the thighs and move the tops of the thighs directly back. Level out the pelvis, scoop the belly in, and then hands to the ribs. Pull the ribs together as you knit them in and back. Arms alongside the body, lifting your heart and moving the head and throat back a little bit. Tummy's in strong. Watch that you don't lock those knees. To keep all that lovely engagement, inhale, reach the arms out or all the way up if that feels good for you. Exhale, hands down through heart space. Let's do that twice more. Belly staying in, core engaged. And then from here, standing nice and tall, you're going to bring your right hand to the behind your left ear and then just up just a little bit, creating a wall to press your head into. It's it'll cause your chin to kind of slightly come down. And if you can't lift your arm up like this, just tilt your head to the right and just get another neck stretch, no problem. If you can, you could stay here pressing the head into the hand. We're not yanking on the head. Head is meeting the hand. Or extend your left arm a little to the left and reach, 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 reach. Press head into hand. Feel your breath. What's pleasurable? Take it in. Breathe it in. Exhale, let it go. Back to center, mountain pose. Second side. We'll bring our left hand behind our right ear, just behind it, and then a little bit higher. Press the head into the hand there. Press it in. It's going to cause the chin to slightly come down. Keep that core engaged. Unlock those knees. And maybe we reach with that right hand. Press head to hand. Reach with opposite hand. Smile, breathe. Feel the breath. One more round. And then inhale, release, relax, mountain pose. Taking in the good. Okay, we are going to come into warrior one variation. You want your hips and shoulders square to the front of your mat for this. And then step your right foot back. Bend your left knee. Your feet will be hips width distance apart. So you'll notice that there's a distance between east and west in my feet. Draw the right hip forward, scoop the belly in. Everything we did with our mountain pose, we want to do with all of our standing poses. Lift it. And then you're going to bring your right arm over left. Bend the bottom elbow. From here, I want you to press your straightened arm, press it in to the bent arm, right? So it's like if my left elbow wasn't bent, I would just go, right? So press, press, press. Stay heavy in your back foot, particularly the outer edge, as you draw that right hip forward. This is a great warrior one, is a great posture to help counter a lot of sitting. Strong glutes. Feel your breath. Nice. And then on an inhale, open your arms out into a cactus. And then exhale, elbows and palms together, right? If your elbows don't quite make it, that's okay. You're working that direction. Now, have your elbows as in line with your shoulders as you can get them. And inhale, lift them. Exhale, lower them and round your upper back. This could be a tiny movement. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower, hollow your heart. Let's do that one more time. Strong back leg, strong front leg. Good. And then release. Step forward. Either interlace your fingers behind you or bring your hands to your hips, but broaden your chest. So I'm going to do the hands to hips version. Whatever you're doing, you're lifting your heart, drawing your head and throat back a little bit, chin slightly down. Breathe up into your heart space, the front of your heart this time. Shoulder blades squeeze together. And then release. Notice what's pleasurable. Second side. Left foot back, toes slightly turned out front, leg bends, knee over heel. And we want to be sure when we're doing this, we don't go beyond the heel. We want to keep that knee safe, knee over heel in this posture. Scoop the belly in and square the hips. If you can't square the hips, you might have stepped your foot back too far. So again, name of the game today is ease and what feels pleasurable. So let it be small if it needs to be. Bring left arm over right, bending bottom arm. Now try to swing that left arm into the right. But that right arm won't let you go. We're creating more space between the left shoulder blade and the spine. Heart lifted. Keep breathing. Pulling head and throat back so the ears are over shoulders. Exhale completely. Inhale, cactus, broad chest. And then exhale, palms together, elbows together. Try to get the elbows in line with the shoulders, so shoulder height. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the elbows. Exhale, round the upper back only. Lower the head. Inhale. This is like a little upper back bend. Could be a small movement. Exhale, round. Once more. Strong tummy. And inhale, open the arms. And exhale, step forward. Feel the breath. Lift and drop the shoulders. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. And then once again, find a bind of some sort. Maybe interlaced fingers. Maybe hands to hips. Drawing head and throat back. Soft jaws. Your chin slightly comes down. And release. So let's do another chair dog or downward dog, your choice. I will demo the chair dog. And if you're using the chair and this feels good, I encourage you to bring your hands to the arms of the chair. If there is arms on your chair, you could take the arms a little wider. And we're just trying to broaden the chest, melting the heart towards the floor. Let the knees bend so we can focus on the spine and the chest. You can still get a stretch in the hamstrings with the knees slightly bent. And draw the hips back, draw the tummy in. And then explore what would it feel like if you let your head kind of drop. You could do that. You could also draw your chin towards your chest and look at your navel. See what does that feel like. So find the position that's right for you in this moment and breathe in any pleasure that you find. And each exhale, not clinging to the pleasure, knowing that it'll always change. Our body's always feeling different. Everything changes. And then come on back up. Okay. So for this next posture, I'm going to give two variations. One will be on the hands and knees, and one will be not putting pressure on the knees. So if you don't want to put weight on your knees, sit tight, and I'll show you the other variation. Those of you who can put weight on your knees, I encourage you to place a blanket underneath them, and we'll do thread the needle. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, slide left arm through and bring left shoulder and left side of the head to the mat. As you lean your hips, maybe you lean your hips a little to the left. staying there, breathing, pressing the back of your left hand into the floor and slightly drawing the left shoulder away from the hand. Those of you who that pose is just too intense for whatever reason, or maybe you just like to be in a chair, have a seat, left arm over right, lower your shoulders, keep breathing, everybody, wherever you are. And then chair people, you're going to, from your upper spine, from your heart area, you're going to rotate the heart to the right. Looking over right shoulder maybe. Yeah, that feels good. Taking a couple breaths, everyone, wherever you are. And then come on out of it. Second side. Hands and knees, folks. Right arm reaches up. When the exhale arrives, thread right arm through. Right shoulder to the mat, right ear to the mat. And the right palm is facing up. Of course, you chair folks, just same thing, second side. And for the next few breaths, either noticing what is pleasurable in this posture or adjusting your posture so that you can experience a little bit more pleasure, or maybe sometimes it's just neutrality. Can't find pleasure all the time. Well, I think you can. I think you can, but sometimes it's just not, it's hidden. One more round of breath. And then come on up. Good. We'll do a little cat-cow, whether you're in your chair or on hands and knees, do some cat-cow. And then through a neutral spine, look over left shoulder, a little lateral side bend. Left hip, left shoulder come towards each other. And then other side. Looking over right shoulder. Right hip moves to right shoulder moves to right hip. Feel your breath. Come back through center and let's all come onto our belly for Sphinx pose. If you have a sensitive low back, feel like your low back's like chronically tight, little tip, bring your belly to a blanket. It'll give a little bit more space to the low back. Prop your elbows up underneath your shoulders and lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Tops of the feet are to the floor. And lifting up out of the shoulders. Scoop the belly in and just gaze to the top edge of your mat at first. Chin slightly down. Lift up out of the shoulders a little bit more. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you, without moving your arms, imagine your arms are stuck to the mat. You're going to press them down, but then try to drag your heart forward. And last, maybe, if this feels okay, keep the back of the neck long, keeping the chin down, but look up a little bit more. Look forward. Keep belly in, tail towards the heels. Good. And now exert less effort. Kind of let yourself sink and relax here, melting kind of towards the floor. You're still propping yourself up. But lower your head and let your head just dangle. Stretch out the back of your neck. Soften your jaw, soften your tongue and forehead. Good. And then Come on up to all fours. Okay, if you can't come up to all fours, do another chair dog pose, or come along with me and do puppy pose if being on your knees is okay. Walk your hands forward, hips stay over knees, and then melt your heart towards the floor. Forehead comes to the floor. Elbows are straight, arms are long. This pose is also called heart melting pose. Melt that heart. Fingers spread wide. Press the base of each finger into the mat. Let your head rest. Forehead on the mat. One more breath. Okay, you're going to stay here. Those of you in puppy pose, just staying here. But bring your right armpit a little closer towards the mat, just very gently, getting a little bit more of a stretch in the right armpit. And then do the same thing on the other side. Left armpit, bring it a little closer towards the mat. It's like you're like leaning to the left a little bit. Excellent. And then come on back up through hands and knees, preparing to sit down. Okay. Let's sit with our right ankle in front of left, and then fold over, cross shins. Just a quick little hip opener before we go on. Take one more big breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. And then come on up. Left side, left shin in front of right. Folding over. What is pleasurable? Right? Sometimes it's hard to give ourselves permission to enjoy for whatever reason. And just if you find that's true for you, maybe there's some way you can soften around that. We're not forcing ourselves to feel good, of course. We're just inviting ourselves to take in the good. The invitation is there. Okay, come on up. Okay, for this next posture, you're going to have two choices. There's going to be people who want to be on their knees and people who don't. So I'm going to start with those who are okay with being on their knees. So if you're facing the short edges of your mat, I want you to take your blanket and put your knees on it, but I want you to face the long edge of your mat. And then you're going to step your right foot out to the right. And this is reminiscent of Warrior 2, if you're familiar. My right foot is in line with my opposite knee. So it's like if there was a line down the center of my mat, that's where my right foot would be. And my knee of the right leg is over the heel. Okay? I'm opening up the leg a little bit, so that Warrior 2 position. Okay. Those of you who would prefer not to put weight on that one knee, we'll do just a chair Warrior 2. Boom, like that. So I have my left foot just kind of seated regular style, and then I just step my right foot out. Okay. So from this Warrior 2, we're going to lean the right elbow, just gently resting on the right knee, and then let the left arm hang. And in fact, let your left shoulder come closer to the floor. So it's like, oh, poor posture, Warrior side angle pose. That's okay. We're not concerned. To give that left shoulder an opportunity to dangle. Left arm. I hope you can still hear me. Okay. Okay. Dangle, dangle. For this, I want you to keep your gaze down to your right knee so that the head will be turned. Keep dangling that arm. And then we're going to move up towards a side angle pose. Left bicep, kind of lifting, left arm. Okay, we might not make it all the way up. Name of the game here is what feels good. Again, head is turned to look at right knee. Tummy in. Hopefully feeling a nice stretch in the front of that left hip. Big breath in here. Right? And folks in the chair, you can do this as well. Exhale. And then inhale, sweep that left arm up, back, and down. Let's do that one more circle. Big circle, sweeping forward, up, back, and down. And then coming out of it. Either just come to a regular seat or standing on both knees. And second side. Left leg steps out. Tummy's in. Scoop the belly in. Lengthen your tail towards your heels, towards the floor rather. Your hips and shoulders are square to the long edge of your mat as you open your arms. And just check to make sure that left heel is under the left knee. And then our side angle variation. Right shoulder can come towards the floor, just kind of slouching here, swinging arm forwards and backwards. So we're looking to see, can we release some of the tension that we hold in the shoulders? And then moving towards that side angle, tummy in, opening, lifting. Okay? And you might pause here, totally fine. Find somewhere to pause that feels good. You're gazing to the left knee, the head's turned to the left. Tummy in. Breathe into the stretch, take in the good. And the exhale is just knowing the good will come and go, good, bad. Everything's changing. Everything's verb. Okay, here comes the circles. Inhale, sweep right arm up and back and down. Nice, slow, big circles. Real slow. And then come on up. Okay, come on up to stand. Take your legs, feet, come in a wide stance. You might need a block actually for this. Some of you, if you feel like you need longer arms, you can have a block. Okay, wide stance. Feet parallel, meaning outer edges of the feet parallel with the sides of the mat here. So the outer edges, you might feel like you're turning your toes in. Totally cool. On an exhale, fold forward. Bring your fingertips to the block or the floor. Make sure that your knees are bent enough so that your spine can hang vertically, long. Gaze between the legs so that the crown of the head is getting heavy towards the floor. Relax the face, relax the neck. You do not need to hold your head up here. Neck, it's time to take a break. Okay, so for the next round of breath or so, we are going to search for what is pleasurable for us in this pose. Some of you might like bending one knee for a little bit and then the other. That's an option. You could also kind of walk your hands to the left to get a nice side stretch and then to the right. Some of you may like to come into twists here. You could do that. So I'll let you know how many more breaths we got. Oh, I'd say about 3 more breaths, 3 or 4. You could also even interlace your fingers so that the pinky edges of your hands are weighing heavy on the base of the skull to lengthen the back of the neck. What feels most helpful to you right now? Last breath. Bend the knees. Come on up. Take your time. Coming up to mountain pose. Notice what feels good. Okay, so we're all going to locate our chair and a strap. Sit on the edge of your chair. And let's take our hands on the strap wider than shoulder width distance apart. Sitting on the edge of the chair, get a neutral pelvis, belly in, long spine, chest lifted, ears over shoulders. And then inhale, arms reach up, and exhale, arms go back any amount that feels right for you. Up and forward. You may need to take the arms wider. Maybe you don't even go all the way up. Maybe you just come up and down like that. Keep breathing, whatever you're doing. Paying attention to what's going on in the neck and the face. What if every pose felt like a morning stretch? You know, like when you watch your dog or cat stretch. Searching, or not searching, rather exploring poses in that way. Okay. Now, bring the strap down. You can just leave it on your thighs for now. I'm going to have you cross your legs. So just sitting like a lady, I guess, quote unquote lady. Okay. Thighs together. And I'm crossing my legs tightly. If for whatever reason this isn't a good fit for you, what you could do is just cross your ankles, right ankle in front of left. Okay. Crossing the thighs tightly, grounding through your bottom foot. Sit tall, neutral pelvis, belly in, long spine. Bring the strap in the left hand and reach it up. If your arm doesn't do this, you could do this off to the side, off to the left, okay? Right arm reaches out to the right, palm rotates behind you, thumb down, and then bending the right elbow and left, Gomukhasana arm. So you're going to grab a hold of this strap, right? And if you don't have that kind of, if you can't, elbow can't go up, maybe it's more elbow out to the side and you're broadening your chest, you're breathing. Keep squeezing your thighs together, sitting nice and tall, drawing head and throat back, chin slightly down. Okay, so there's all kinds of weird things that can happen in the neck as we do this because of the muscle imbalances, right? And we may need to kind of have our head in some kind of weird tilt or something. That's totally fine. But if you can, do your best to keep the shoulders over the ears. Keep breathing, long spine. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And please stay here if this feels like a good fit for you. The next option would be to, with a broad chest, fold over your legs. Any amount. Squeezing thighs together. Exhale. Inhale, come up if you folded forward. And exhale, release. Untangle the legs, untangle the arms, hands on thighs. Noticing left and right, notice the breath. Second side. Okay, left thigh over right, or cross ankles if you need. Strap in right hand. Right arm reaches straight up. Left arm out to the left, thumb down, palm rotated behind you. That's to kind of help to get the shoulder hopefully in a better position. Draw shoulder blades onto the back. Bending elbows. Find your strap. Of course, you can ditch that strap if you don't need it. Squeeze thighs. Heart lifted. Head straight, straight as you can. Ears over shoulders. Feel the breath. Lengthen your tail towards the floor. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. You're welcome to stay here. Or maybe with a broad chest, you fold, hinging from the hips, any amount over the legs. Heart lifted, face relaxed. Squeeze the thighs, breath out. And with a breath in, you come up. And release. Good. Just noticing left and right. Notice the neck, the face, the tongue. And then dropping chin to chest. Rolling left ear to left shoulder. And here, close the eyes, explore. How could you get the best stretch on the right side of the neck? What movements would you do with your head? Chin to chest, right ear to right shoulder. What movements would you do on this side to stretch the left side of the neck? Keep the chest broad, heart lifted vertically away from the navel. And then with an inhale, bring your head back through center. Come onto your back, have your block close by. You can move your chair off to the side unless you like to use it for Shavasana. Okay, we're going to come through a supported bridge pose. Lift your hips, slide your block underneath your bottom. So that's below the back. Arms alongside the body, and just pause here. You can walk your feet a little wider than hips width distance apart so that the thighs fall towards each other slightly. And that way you don't have to work as hard keeping the knees up. Let your belly soften. Lift the hips up off the block and lower the hips now back to the mat. Our next posture is Shavasana. If you have a tight low back, slide a pillow or two blocks, slide a block under each knee. So support yourself in some way. That feels good. You're also welcome to maybe kick the legs up on a chair if that feels good. Arms alongside the body, palms up. Press the backs of the arms into the mat and walk the shoulder blades together and down. Now your shoulder blades are flat up against the ribs. And we'll do one last ah together. Big breath in. Ah. Soft belly, soft legs, soft butt, soft shoulders, soft face. Relaxation. Deepening your breath now. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Then take a big morning stretch. Get long. Eventually drawing the knees into the chest. Hugging your shins in. Give your low back a massage, rocking side to side. And then roll to one side. Use the strength of your arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. If you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone special in your life, visualize them now. Imagine where they are in their day. And we'll send all the goodness out on an exhale. Take a big breath in to gather it up. Send it out. See them wherever they are in their day, smiling, feeling good in their body, heart, and mind, and really taking in the pleasure of this moment, steeping in what aspect of their day feels good. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.